Minasan, konbanwa, Hasparina desu. Welcome to Thursday Talk Show Episode 3. Today, I will be speaking to two PhD students at Japan University, and at the last part of the show, we will be having another special guest as I mentioned in the teaser. For the audiences, thank you for watching. And if you have questions for the guests, write them in the comment box. Later, we will have a few minutes for Q&A, and I will pick up your questions. Thank you. Hanan-san, Fikry-san. Okay,
こんばんは。
hi.
はい、こんばん
Hi.
は。
Konbanwa. Welcome to the show, and thank you very much for your willingness to share your time with us tonight. It's 9:30 p.m. in Japan, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
And it's hot, isn't it?
It's so hot
Yes,
today.
very hot today.
Okay. It's hot in Malaysia too. Okay.
I see.
Hi. Okay, before I ask you guys some questions, okay, that the question that I have prepared. Okay, let's watch the video clips that both of you have prepared earlier. Okay, let's start with Hanan.
皆さん、アッサラームアレイコムとこんばんは。ハナンと申します。コアラリピスパハンから来ました。現在、東京農工大学の博士3年生後期の学生です。専門は電子情報工学です。2018年の4月から日本政府の文部科学省の奨学金を受け取りました。日本の来る前にパーレスマレーシア大学とマレーシア工科大学の MJIIT に勉強しました。1年間ぐらい研究助手として勤めました。今晩、私の院生生活をご紹介したいと思います。ぜひ聞いてみてください。準備できました。コロナの始まってから学士と修士の授業はほとんどオンラインになりました。なのに、院生の生活はそんなに変わらないです。なぜなら、院生として研究は進まなければならないです。ただ、私の研究室のワーキングタイムは柔軟です。さらに、リモートワークもできます。この状態のおかげで自分のスケジュールを自由に決めてすごく感謝します。もちろん研究の責任は時々悔しくて重いです。ですから休みの時間にいろんな趣味を楽しんでいます。例えば料理を作ったり園芸したりプラモデルも好きです。あ、申し訳ございません。多分話を多すぎました。じゃあ皆さんよろしくお願いいたします。
Hi, Hanan-san. Thank you for the video.
Yeah,
Hanan-san, yes, you speak very fluent Japanese language.
yeah, not so much.
Okay, just a warm-up question for you, Hanan-san. Okay, you mentioned about having gardening as one of your hobbies.
Yes.
Yes, and we can see tomatoes in the video.
It's a summer now in Japan.
Okay, Hanan-san, do you actually have enough space to do gardening?
I have a small balcony at my home, so it's enough for a little bit of some vegetables and some flowers. And I do really enjoy gardening ever since I come to Japan.
Wow, that's nice. Okay, thank you. Okay, now let's watch a video by Fikry-san.
Hello everyone, I'm Fikry, a third year PhD student in Tokyo University of Science in Chiba. My campus is in Chiba, and today I'm going to introduce about myself and also about my daily life in Japan as a PhD student. So yeah, that's my university, and then I went to the Family Mart to buy my favorite cafe latte, and I just walking to the university. Basically, this is the entrance to my university. So basically, today, the day I was recording this was on Sunday. So there were not so many people, as you can see. I am entering my campus, and this is my building, the Department of Mechanical Engineering. And I'm walking to my laboratory. It is a composite material laboratory where I am doing testings or the research for the material used usually for airplanes, the body part. And this is my seating in the lab. This is the biggest seat in the lab because I can see the most senior person in the lab. Yeah, so basically this is what I'm doing, all the microscope things, the testing machines, etc, etc. Yeah, and this all is what my lab got. It's very convenient. You know, we cook sometimes, and also we play sports. Actually, every year we're gonna have like competitions between all the labs. And that's it. I'm going back home now. Bye.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank
Fikry-san, thank
you.
you for the video. In less than 2 minutes, we somehow can feel that you are enjoying your student's life, Fikry-san.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay, my warm-up question for you. Okay, from
Yeah,
the video, we can see that your university is walking distance from your apartment. Or did
yeah,
you omit the transportation part?
yeah. Because my apartment is only 5 minutes walking to the campus,
Oh,
and because my building where I am working is actually in front of the campus, so it's 5 minutes walking time. So I don't have to buy the transportations card or something to go to my university. I can go by walking.
that's very nice. That's good to know. Okay, thank you, Fikry-san. Okay, guys, let's start. Okay, no more warm up. Okay, my first question. Okay, I will start with Hanan-san. Okay, my first question is why you decided to further your study in Japan? I mean, why Japan? Okay, and introduce a bit about your route to Japan from Malaysia as the starting point. Okay, Hana, please. Hanan-san,
Okay.
please.
It's okay. Thank you, Hasparina Sensei, for the question. So, my interest in going to Japan is actually ever since finishing high school. So, actually, I know about MEXT since finishing high school. But going for PhD is actually, I think, my fourth or fifth attempt. So, my starting point is in Malaysia. I was studying in MJIIT as a master student. So I had a lot of chance to meet a potential Japanese supervisor, and that was the start of getting my scholarship. And if you ask me why Japan, if you ask me in high school and in now, I'll give a different answer. Probably in high school, I would say like I like anime, I like Japanese culture, yada yada. But now, as I matured and I experienced a lot of things, I do feel that Japan offers the one of the best place in terms of expertise and also the research support that I was looking for. And looking at it now, it's really one of my best decisions. I get a professor who understands a topic very well, and also I obtain a good research support in terms of, for example, monetary. So this is why I come to Japan.
Mhm. Okay. How about Fikry-san?
Okay, thank you for the question too. Actually, I'm a bit different to Hanan Sang, and also I think most of the students who come to Japan, where usually they like animes, manga, or
Mm-hmm.
J-pop, or K-dramas, or something. Right? But actually, I never watch that kind of thing. Never read that
Oh,
kind of
really?
things. Yes, and
Wow.
I never imagine myself studying in Japan actually. So the story
Mm-hmm.
begins when in high school I wanted to go to the UK actually.
Oh,
I
okay.
want to go to the UK or any European countries to further my studies. Then, after finish my SPM in Malaysia, I applied for so many scholarships actually to go to the
Mm.
UK actually. And there was only one scholarship that offered scholarship to Japan. So I applied that. It is under the scholarship of Yayasan Pelajaran Mara, YPM. And then I actually the first offer that I got was YPM. So I thought that that will be my on the only one offer that I will get. So I just go to that program called MJHEP, Malaysia Japan Higher Education Program. It is
Mm-hmm.
a 3 years diploma study in Malaysia and 2 years study in Japan university. And then I went into that program. Then after 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks was the orientation kind of thing, right? So we learned like very fun Japanese things, the culture things, and all the senseis were so, kawaii sensei, very cute sensei, right? So I fell in love with the Japanese language actually. Then after 2 weeks I was in that program, I got another offer to go to the UK from JPA. Then I called my
Oh.
parents to come and pick me up in the college
Oh,
in Tirana.
really?
And then
Okay.
they were already like halfway to the college, and then I called them back. I told them that I will not go to the UK. I will go to Japan because I fall in love with the Japanese language. Yeah, that's why. And then after I finished my diploma 3 years in Malaysia, I further my 2 year to another 2 years in Japan University at the second. I came to Japan actually as a transfer student because the MJIIT is a transfer credit program. So I entered as a third year student here. After I finished my undergrad study, I further my study to master's course, and then now I'm currently doing PhD on the third year, my final year. Yeah, that's so. In summary, it's quite long story, right? So in summary, actually, the reason why I came to Japan is because of the Japanese language, and the second one is to fulfill my dream to become a professor. So that's why I go until PhD level. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Both of you have different reason, similar but different reason. But Fikri have the kawaii part, kawaii sensei.
Yeah.
His story is so
Okay.
interesting.
Yes, yes. You too, Hanan Sang. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go to the second question. Okay. Okay. Second question. Hanan Sang. Okay. I think. Okay, Hanan Sang, can you share about your experience? Hanan Sang, I forgot. You
Yes.
mentioned about Japanese government MEXT. MEXT. What do you call it? Scholarship, right?
Scholarship. Yes.
Yes, yes. Can you share about your experience when applying for MEXT? Okay, what was your preparation or what was the application process?
Okay, so I applied in the year 2017, so it's been 4 years now during my time of application. So I may not remember everything exactly, but I summarized it in a slide that I would like to share with all of you tonight. Okay. All right, this is my timeline of MEXT scholarship. I received the MEXT scholarship by the embassy recommendation. So if you like to know, we have two ways, by embassy recommendation and by university recommendation. I will not explain about what's the difference between this because of the time constraint, but I will explain about basically my own personal experience. So when I was applying, actually I haven't finished my master studies yet, but I was in my last semester if I'm not mistaken. It was a really busy period. I had my Viva in MJIIT. So after I finished Viva, I sent my application in March of 2017. And I passed the document check. I went for the written exam, and after that interview and selecting university and approach a supervisor. And only at December 2017, I was informed that I was one of the candidates to was selected for that year. And in April 2018, I depart to Japan. So as you can see here, the process take about 1 year, so you have to plan the year very well indeed. So as you can see on the Shinbun there, the newspaper, that's me. It's very small over
Wow.
there. Basically, I think I look better now, right? Don't you think so?
Yeah. Right.
It was so
Yes.
busy. I was so
Uh,
busy at that time. I just gotten married and I just finished my
Oh.
Viva and I need to fly to Japan. Like it's basically everything I say. You see my face like that. Okay, thank you for the slide. You don't need to see my face for too long. So
okay.
that's basically my journey. So it took 1 year. So I would advise like if a person who is interested in the scholarship to plan the year very well, so you can estimate when you're gonna apply, when you're gonna do this, and when you're gonna do that. So that's basically my experience.
Okay, thank you,
Wow.
Hanan Sang. That's a
Impressive.
long process.
Yeah,
Yes,
it takes quite
yes.
a long time.
Yeah, and by the way, congratulations to Hanan-san. Okay, for getting the MEXT scholarship, and you have the newspaper.
Yes,
Okay.
it was one of the best things.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Let's go to Fikry-san. Okay. Fikry-san. How about you? About your preparation? Okay. After your first graduate, and then you go to masters, right?
Yeah.
Master's degree in Japan also. Okay. Did you get any scholarship?
Actually, during my master, because it's 2 years course, so for 1 year I got a scholarship, and then another 1 year I have to like kind of survive by my own, doing so many vitals and everything to survive actually. And then now for PhD, thankfully, Alhamdulillah, I got two scholarships actually. One from the Hirose scholarship, a company, electronic device company in Japan, and then also another one is from my university. Yeah, thankfully.
Okay. Okay. I want to ask about that later again, but please, first, please let us know how about your life during when the time when you didn't get masters.
Okay,
No,
so
I'm sorry,
during
when
yeah,
you didn't get scholarship during masters.
during
Yes.
masters, right? Yeah, thank
Mm,
you.
mm, mm.
Actually, for the first year, during my master, after I finished my undergrad, I go to the master course, and then something happened actually, and then I didn't get any scholarships during that time. So it was so hard for me actually to survive because my university is a private university, and then the living expenses, as you know, in Japan is so high, it's so expensive, right? So what I do is basically I do many vitals to survive, and then there was some helps, some support, financial support from my supervisor, my lab supervisor. So there are so many vitals. For example, let's look at a picture. I want to share with you what I have done during my master course actually. So two of the vitals that I want to introduce what I have done before. One of them is co-worker at IKEA Tokyo Bay. Okay, this is the main branch of IKEA in Japan actually, and I was working in the business department. I just sitting in front of the computer, and the salary is quite high too. But there is something that is not really good about doing this arubaito, because I did this as a Tangjikang Shine, or full-time worker, but for a short time period. So I have to pay all the pensions, all the taxes, and everything, like all the other shakaijin, salarymen are paying in Japan. I have to pay the same actually. So it's quite hard. So I worked there only for 1 year and a half something, and then I became quite busy. So I stopped actually. And then for another one, I still doing until now, which is Malay language instructor. Marego Koshi. I teach Japanese, Malay language, and also the Malaysia cultures. Yeah, so this is very fun, and the salary is quite high too. So this was how I survived during when I have no scholarship during my master studies. Thank you.
Wow. Oh, I like the IKEA T-shirt with you.
This
The
is
yellow
actually
T-shirt.
the summer
Yeah.
t-shirt. I like more
Oh,
when they have like the winter jacket. It look more
Oh.
cool, cool. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, well, that was hard. Maybe hardest time in your
Tahan
student's life. Yes. Okay, but I'm sure you get some valuable experience too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I get so
Uh,
many experience during that time. Thank you.
yes. Okay. Okay. Now, let's go back to Hanan-san. Okay, Hanan-san, Friki-san said that he had to do arbaito, part-time job. Okay, how about you, Hanan-san? Okay, do you have financial problem? Okay, your scholarship from Max. If you can reveal about the amount, I'm not sure if you can, but if you can reveal, okay, the scholarship you receive, is it sufficient?
Okay, thank you, Hasparina Sensei. I believe many people want to know about how much we received, and I can tell you the amount. So I would like to reveal it in a slide. Grrr. Okay, so the amount is
Wow.
148,000 Japanese yen. And the important point is the tuition fee is waived off for MEXT scholars. So you don't need to pay the tuition fee, which can be very expensive. Especially for example, it's a private university. It's much more expensive than a public university. So here I put just a little bit of estimation on the cost in Tokyo. As Fikri-san has said, Japanese is expensive. Japan is expensive, I'm sorry, but especially in Tokyo. So here's some breakup of the cost estimation. As you can see, the total there is, I put a range because this basically depends on where you're staying, and also plus meals, because the big portion of the salary, max salary, or your stipend will be spent on your meals. So it actually, for me, is enough. I think it's enough. Of course, you have to have good financial management, and good how you arrange your daily needs. Basically, I cook a lot. As you can see, I like cooking, but once in a while, of course, I eat outside, and I have enough money to actually eat outside. So, however, Fikri-san did a lot of baito. I only did one kind of baito, which is actually being a teaching assistant, TA, in TUAT. So I'm teaching, in this photo, I'm teaching English for high school students, which is affiliated with the university. So we have some high school that have connections with our university. So this is a periodically. Why I'm doing this? You may ask when I think this is enough. So I think uh, I want to get out of my comfort zone, in which is my laboratory, and experience more things outside of my research. So I really do enjoy my TA job. I got to meet like a lot of young people, young Japanese people, which is in high school, which I think there's a different generation kind of thinking between these young people and also the elder people, and that's why I also really enjoy my teaching assistant job in my university. And also the pay is quite nice. You have a minimum wage here in Japan. In Tokyo is about 1,000 yen and above, so it really does help me with some of my daily expenses. So thank you for the photo. And that's my experience with the MEXT scholarship, and also as a TA.
Oh,
Wow.
good to know that. Good to know that. And TA Arbeiter is good for your resume too.
Yes,
Right.
I think so.
Yes. Okay. Okay, now go back to Fikri-san.
Okay.
Okay, Fikri-san. Okay, just now you told us a bit about your scholarship from company, right?
Yeah.
Right. So how did you manage to get the scholarship from that company? Okay, what was the requirement during the application?
I see. Okay. So just now I said I got two scholarships, right? So I will share one of the scholarships, how I got that scholarship, and the requirements for that scholarship, right? So it's from Hirose Foundation. It is a company, and then actually it's not only that one company that gives scholarships in Japan. There are so many companies, or it's like a culture exchange, or it's like a club association for the cultural exchange, something. There are so many foundations that give scholarships to uh, international students, actually more scholarships for international students than to the Japanese students actually in Japan, and then mostly for Asian students, because I think uh, the European, or the people from the US, maybe they are they can study in Japan with their own money, right? But people
Mm-hmm.
in Asia maybe need more this kind of
Support.
scholarships. Yeah, this kind of
Mm-hmm.
support. So
Mm-hmm.
how I got this scholarship is first by looking at the university portal, the students portal, that my university will list up all the scholarships that are opening, and then I just look at the scholarship list, and then I will see how much they will give, how long they will give, and then what is the requirements for, because some of the scholarships need you to have like JLPT, the Japanese language proficiency test level N1, the highest
Mm-hmm.
level, and in that time I got only N2. So the scholarships that I got last time is okay with N2. So that is the requirements in the Japanese language. And there are so many other requirements. For example, like you must get a very high CGPA, or you never repeat year, or you never take a leave during the study, and then you must confirm that you can attend all the cultural events for that foundation. Because, for example, in my case, the Hirose Foundation, they will help like 4 times a year the cultural exchange event. So I must attend those events. If I cannot attend once,
Okay.
then the scholarship will be cut, something like that. Yeah.
Oh.
So and the process is like there will be 2 stages. The first stage is the document scanning stage. So they will look at your results and your how much you need the scholarships, and then the recommendation from the university or your sensei, of course. And then the second stage is the interview. So you have to go to the interview, and then if you pass, then you get the scholarships. And then it's quite easy actually for Malaysians. Actually, I can say that Malaysians can easily get this kind of scholarships, because there are so many scholarships open for Malaysians, and also there are not so many Malaysian students apply for these scholarships. So the chance to get this scholarship is very high for Malaysians. So I'm sharing this as someone who already in Japan and try to find a scholarship, because most of the Malaysian students I found that they already get the scholarships before they came to Japan, right? So this is the case where you are already in Japan and you try to find a scholarship for yourself. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, that's very good information, Fikri-san. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, now let's talk about your life as postgraduate student in Japan. Okay, Hanan-san, did you face any difficulties the first time you came and entered the university?
Okay, so I've coming to a new country that I do not really speak the language of. So I did my bachelor and master in Malaysia, right? So if I can be specific about a problem that I encounter is I have a difficult time with reading the atmosphere, or in Japanese we call it kukyo yomu. So Japan, the little gestures actually have meanings. Okay, right? For example, for me, I come as a doctor student, immediately enter doctoral program. No, I enter as a Kenkyu and then after that doctoral program. But for doctor students, we are actually the senpai. We are the senior in the laboratory, no matter how late or early you come. So you are actually expected to lead the junior. So in my case, sometimes I do have a group with my kohai, like a smaller research group inside the laboratory that I'm sort of in charge of. So sometimes these kohais want to ask me for some help. So they ask me in Japanese, of course. And then, there's sometimes they say sumimasen and then they say like, and they tilt their head a little bit. So they expect you to understand that, oh, I want some help from you. But the first time I say, "Oh,
Okay.
are you want to finish your sentence or what?" So I'm waiting for this person to like, "Oh, do you want to finish sentence?" Or but actually, that and then after that, after some time, I learned that if
Mm.
they do this gesture, actually
Uh-huh.
they want to ask for help and they sort of want me to kind of understand that. So you want to finish the sentence yeah. So this is the kind of small things that I learned to overcome gradually. That's one of the example. So that's my
Okay.
yeah, problem, I guess.
Yes, yes. Japanese, they don't like to say things, everything's right. They like
Yeah.
to cut it short. Just give you hint, some hint.
Yes. Then you have to know
You have
when
to
is that.
understand.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. True, true, true. Okay, good to know that. Okay, Fikri-san, how about you? So, about your financial problem, do you have any difficulties?
Difficulties, there are some of the difficulties. Not everything is difficult for me actually, because I think more fun things, more positive things than the negative things in Japan to me.
Okay.
And then the first thing I faced when I came to Japan was to find a Japanese friends, because I learned some Japanese in Malaysia before I came to Japan. So I kind of feel to I want to talk with Japanese to practice my what I learned the Japanese language, right? And then I try to talk to someone just next to me in the class or something, and then the next day they will pretend not knowing me anymore or something like that, because they are kind of shy. They have shy.
Yes.
They are kind of shy, and also because they thought that I couldn't speak Japanese, maybe, so they may think that they have to speak English when they communicate with me, right? Then I try so hard to find Japanese friends, even though actually I don't really need to find a Japanese friend. Yeah, because the support from the senseis and university, the senseis also helping me so much with the lectures and everything. But I still want to communicate with the Japanese, right? So what I did was I entered a club, Sakura circle in Japan, because I love singing. So I entered a cappella singing club. Then I made some friends, and then I also, it's quite busy. You have in one day you have 2 or 3 times practice during the lunch hour and after the classes. So I only in that Sakura for about 6 months, and then I yameru. I stopped
You
because
quit. Yes.
it's too, yeah, I quit because it's too busy for me. But
Busy.
I
Busy
got so
singing.
many, yeah,
Uh,
I got so many
uh,
Japanese friends from there. And then what I did more is actually to go for the exchange events by university or by the city hall or by the companies that provide these kind of chances. So I made many friends also through this kind of culture exchange events. So that was first, and then sorry, I will share one more actually. As a postgraduate student, actually, it's a sensei's expectation is, I think maybe I'm not the only one who face this problem. Maybe most of the postgrad students will experience this too, when your supervisor will put a too high expectation on you, and then you will feel pressure sometimes. You will feel you have to fulfill all the expectations, and then sometimes you go back even when you take shower. In Malay, we call mandi tak basah, right? Makan tak kenyang, mandi tak basah. It's like,
Dia tak
yeah,
lena.
okay.
tidur
Okay.
tak lena, right? And then you don't feel anything because you have to always think about your research, how to fulfill the
Uh-huh.
expectations and everything. Yeah, that was some of the difficulties that I face in Japan. Thank you.
Okay, but expectations meaning that the sensei actually rely on you, he trusts you, right? That comes
Indeed.
the expectation. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
sometimes
Uh,
your hard work sometimes make you burden you.
mm,
Yeah, you have to control not to work so hard.
yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for sharing that. Okay. Next. Okay. Next question. I'm going to Hanan-san. Okay. Hanan-san, how about language barrier, Hanan-san? Did you face any problem because of just now you said about the kukio yomimasu, kokio yomu. So apart from that. Yeah.
Okay, so I
Mm.
think it will be a lie to say there is no language barrier, or if you know, if, especially for people like me who didn't undergo a preparatory education, say I think, to come to Japan. So, but I do learn a little bit of Japanese before coming to Japan. I passed N5 before coming to Japan, which is like, elementary school level. You can go to kombini, you can go to restaurant, but basically that's it. So when I come to here, my laboratory environment is, I'm the only foreigner, and I think there's 30 people every year. We have around 30 people in the lab. All is Japanese. So with this environment, of course, I will definitely have some language barrier, even though I'm constantly learning Japanese while I'm doing research. What I do realize about the language is that, for example, I'm learning the Japanese from a textbook, for example, Minna no Nihongo, or whatever textbook, right? But for I'm doing Kenkyu, so actually there are technical terms that I have no idea how to know this unless I read, for example, a textbook on electrical engineering. So this is one of the problem. firstly, the technical terms that is not available in a normal Japanese language textbook. And the second one is sometimes I do speak English when I'm so like komaru, I'm so like at my peak. But even when I speak English, I have to be selective about the English words that I use. You know, because sometimes they only know there are two English words that actually mean the same. So they don't know the meaning of the first one, but they actually know the meaning of the second one. So I have to be selective about my English words and English sentences. So this is the second problem. But I think if I were to give an advice to people coming to Japan, definitely if even if you can get by not knowing the language, I definitely recommend you to pick up a little bit of Japanese along the way because it will definitely be useful and you can enjoy a lot of more daily things. Just pick up the language at your own pace. You don't need to go so fast, but just learn a little bit along the way. It will definitely help you. That's my experience.
Thank
I
you. At least
agree.
for surviving, right? At least for
Yes.
surviving. Yes. For kombini,
Combine. Chumon, yeah,
Yes.
Tumpas.
for ordering.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay, Fikri-san. Okay, I'm sure you don't have language problem. Okay, because you studied since your first degree in Japan. Okay, but do you think Japanese language ability is necessary as postgraduate students?
Okay, so to me, I think it's not really necessary because there are some of my friends who came without any Japanese basics, and then they survived actually,
Mm.
finishing their postgrad studies in Japan. And but you know, it depends on your supervisor, depends on your environment, university or department, or sometimes depends on your research, the contents of your research. Okay, so why I'm saying this is because during my master's study and PhD, I still have to take some classes, and in my university, all the classes are still in Japanese. There are no English course for the even for international students. And then you know, in the classes or in the lab, your research work, you have to do the report, the test or the presentation. Everything must be in Japanese. So somehow, if your supervisor understand you well, and then they might give you a chance to to use English in your presentation or something. But most probably Japanese is still being used. So you have to, it's not that necessary, but at least you have some basic knowledge in Japanese. And then, for example, in my case, I have the collaborative research. In Japanese, we call Kyodo Kenkyu, right? Kenkyu is the research and Kyodo is the collaborative. And then collaborative research is you do research together with the Japanese companies, the research center. For example, in my case, I'm doing with the research center in Tsukuba and also JAXA, Japan Exploration Agency, something like that. So you know, when you communicate with them, you still have to use Japanese. So it depends on your research contents also. And then most important thing is when I think Hanan-san said just now about when you communicate with your lab members for discussions or meetings, not everyone in the lab are able to use English to explain their research or to discuss the research content. So actually, it is better for you to learn some Japanese even when you come to the postgrad studies in Japan. But it's not that necessary because there are some of my friends who already survived without Japanese basics. Thank you.
Okay, but all in all, if you have it, then it will give you some advantages, right?
Yeah,
In terms of thank you, in terms of socializing as well, right?
yeah.
Okay, okay, thank you very much. Okay, okay. So now both of you are at your last year as PhD students. Okay, so I'm sure there were times when you get tired or stressful. You already told me a few just now. Okay, but what? Okay, you are now completing your studies. So what makes you keep going? So how do you overcome your difficulties? Okay, Hanan, first.
Oh, okay. So, as you can see in my video, I have a lot of hobbies. I enjoy my hobbies a lot, and it's definitely one of the things that help me to stay in good mental health. But if I were to say regarding the research or the university methods is firstly there might be a lot of misunderstanding due to cultural differences, language barriers, etc. So these misunderstandings should be cleared up very early stages of it. So if you delay misunderstanding, it may pile up and it may cause another misunderstanding. So from what I learned, my experience, sometimes it's simply a feeling on our side because we come from different country. We feel that, oh, this is am I doing this wrong, when actually the other party doesn't feel that much about it at all. And sometimes we don't feel that much about it, but they feel like affected by it. So most importantly is to clear up the misunderstanding. If you feel something is off about the situation, yeah, maybe there's something that we do. So and the secondly is the most importantly for postgraduate students, I think, is to have a good and grounded intention to further your studies. So I think this is because I've seen a lot of postgraduate students who come because of their interest in Japan and also the culture. Of course, this helps you to survive in the early years of coming to Japan, but to actually survive in this country or survive in your postgraduate life, you have to have interest, you have to have a good intention to further your studies. So passion in your interest and it will keep you going forward even though there's many difficulties. This is my opinion.
So
Thank
nice.
you very much. Yes, passion, interest, and intention. Good
Yes,
intention.
good intentions,
Yes.
inshallah.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, how about you, Fikri-san?
Okay, so the language. I mean, the how I overcome the difficulties and
Yes,
everything, right?
yes.
So, like Hanan sang said, we must have problems. We will not always be happy, right? Even you are maybe you saw some animes or everything. You feel like, okay, when you go to Japan, you will have this kind of life and everything. You must imagine something very positively, but there must be some negative things also that you can take as a something you can learn for the future, right? Then what I do actually when I feel, for example, just now I said that I been pressured by my no, not pressured by my
Mandi
sensei,
tak
but
basah, ya?
yeah, the expectations. Then because he never pressure me to do anything. Actually, I'm the one
Okay.
who feel the pressure, so it's not his fault. Okay, don't report this to him. No, he's a very
Okay.
kind person, very caring. He will always ask me
Okay.
about my condition. So what I do
Okay.
is to go out from the Japanese world for a while. Okay, that's what I'm
Mm.
doing. So what I
Mm.
do is like I go out from Japan. I go travel to the nearest countries like
Uh-huh.
Taiwan or my beloved Korea, South Korea,
Beloved.
because yeah, because I love
Yeah.
K-pop. And then
Okay.
before COVID, actually, I was going to Shinokubo. It's a Korean
Mhm.
town in Tokyo, and then I can go there and enjoy. It's like the life there, the restaurants, the environment there. You feel like you are in Korea, South Korea. So that's
Okay.
how I release my stress. I go out from the Japanese world and enter the Korean world for a while. Yeah, and then also listening to K-pop songs and everything. When you talk, you use Japanese every day. You will feel, because it's not your language. You will feel the
Yeah.
pressure, right? So it's,
Yes.
but still, I'm very weird because Korean is also not my language, but I don't know. Yeah, I love K-pop. That's why. Thank you.
That's good. That's good. You're like Doraemon. You go here and there.
Oh,
Like,
doko demo
open
doa.
the, yes, doko demo doa. You have doko demo
I
doa.
I wish I have that
Okay.
for Takikosa.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now go to next question. Okay, so you have told me about all your difficulties and all. Okay, now how about your sweet memories? Okay, happy moments. Okay, things like that you won't forget. Do you have it, Hanan-san?
Ah, it's been there's really a lot of things I experienced, so I can't really choose one, to be honest. So I like small things in life, such as looking at the beautiful skies or sunrise. In winter is especially beautiful, the sunrise, or like the fluffy clouds in summer. So it made me realize that, oh, I'm in Japan and I'm like, realizing my dream and something like this. But if I want to speak a very specific moment that made me feel the happiest, so recently I had my Dr. Yobi Shinsa, which is the pre-examination, sort of pre-viva. So after I finished my presentation, I logged out of the Zoom meeting and they maybe had a discussion about how this student is like, are we gonna make him pass or not, something like this. So after I log in, okay, my sensei says like, Rashida-san, gokaku shimashita, gokaku. So
Very
at the moment I received this word, oh, I passed, and it really felt like, oh, this journey is really coming to an end. So it was a really bittersweet moment for me. I think that was the peak of my life in Japan, I think.
Wow, omedetou gozaimasu. Yes. Yes, okay. Okay, how about you, Fikry-san? Not
Okay,
K-pop.
yeah. My sweet moment in Japan, okay, not
Okay.
related to K-pop, is
Okay.
of course first thing, shojiki, the money, the scholarship's money. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's the most important thing because no money, no
No
life.
K-pop.
Okay, no, yes, no money, no K-pop, no survive. Okay, and
Okay.
then next is friends in Japan. Also because I
Mm.
have many Japanese friends and also all many international friends also from of course Koreans also. So yeah, I love these memories. Being in Japan, enjoying my life in Japan. Yeah, that is the moments that I will not forget. Thank you.
Oh, okay, okay, good to know about that. Okay, so my last questions to both of you before I pick some questions from the audiences and before I invite our special guest from the Embassy of Japan. Okay, so both of you will be graduating soon. So what do you think you will miss after graduation? And what is your future plan? If you can share with us. Okay, Hanan-san first.
As Fikri San say, money. So I will be missing getting a scholarship every month. No, I'm just kidding. So okay,
Okay.
what I will miss is I will miss being a student actually. To have the freedom of time, freedom to make a decision. Actually, my research also, most of it I decide by myself. Um, I will definitely miss the freedom. So as for my future plan, right, Sensei?
Mm-hmm.
So my future plan is currently I'm still looking for a job. So for my scholarship, I'm not exactly bonded to any company or country upon my graduation. So I'm also not bonded to any academy related institutions. Just that my general plan is I do want to work in a company or an institution that will allow me to contribute to both countries, Malaysia and also Japan, if possible. So I'm really grateful that the government of Japan has granted me the scholarship, and I also grateful to the government of Malaysia for paving this path, good diplomatic relation. So I would like to work in a company that give me the opportunity to do so. This is my future plan.
Thank you. We hope you can get some
Thank
nice job.
you.
Okay. Okay. How about you, Fikri-san?
Okay, just now I already said about what I will miss if I leave Japan, right? And then my future plans are actually because I applied for two positions like assistant professor and postdoc in the lab because I want to continue my research. What I'm doing right now, my research is actually I just want to introduce a little bit. It's about the aeroplanes, the material used for the aeroplane. So it seems like so very it's but quite a big research topic that I am very
Yes.
interesting. So I think I want to continue this because if I go back to Malaysia now, I may not I may not continue may not be able to continue this research. But of course, I will gain the knowledge or the experience here, and then I will go back to Malaysia one day. Yeah, that's my future plan.
Okay. So maybe you are going to continue your research, right?
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
actually,
Yes.
I have one
Mm-hmm.
picture I want to share with you. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
the what I will miss when I leave Japan one day. Actually, can we have this slide? Yeah. Okay. Okay. As you can see here, I have a very supportive supervisor on the left upper right side, and then all the senpais. They are all already graduated, and also my dokyusei, my lab mates in the same year with me. They are all very caring. They are very, care about, because I'm Muslim. They care about my halal foods, what I cannot eat, what I have to pray, what time or whatsoever. They know everything, and then they are very considerate actually. Then also other international students. These are the moments that I will not forget when I leave Japan one day. Thank you. Thank you for the
Nice.
picture too.
Yes, nice. You have this in your environment. That's why you are doing what you are doing now, right? That's why you can stay there and doing some more research. I think
Yeah,
because you love
thankfully.
being there. Yes, yes.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, so thank you very much. Okay, now let's see if we have questions from the audiences. Do you have questions? Hmm. Let's
Oh,
see. Hmm. Oh, from Izati Shahira-san. Okay, any Baito suggestions for students with limited Nihongo skill? Okay, anyone want to answer?
Maybe Hanan-san can answer this.
oh yeah, maybe this is related to my environment. So I think I shared with you my TA as a English teacher for high school students. So actually, in any university, there is a TA, teaching assistant opportunities for especially for foreign students and especially for teaching, maybe teaching English or some other work like jaga desk, front desk of a info desk. So if you come to a Japanese university, by all means, please try to find opportunities as a TA. Besides, you don't need a high Nihongo skill. You can usually the baito is also held within the campus, so you don't need to travel far. So I think you should try to find some TA jobs, I think.
Thank you very much. Okay, do you have any other questions? I hope Izati-san got the answer. Okay, from Tio-san. If were to study in Japan for master regarding the MEXT scholarships, what kind of thing that I should have done to get the scholarship?
So,
Maybe also Hanan-san.
Uh, I think many interest about the MEXT scholarship. This is a very broad question, I think. But the terms and the condition you can actually see at the Embassy of Japan in Malaysia website. There's terms that you can see. But if you want a more specific, because I'm not sure what kind of thing that should be done, as in what do you mean actually. So basically, I can only give you a very general guideline, but if you want to be more specific about your field, then maybe you can contact me personally and we can have a chat about this in more detail.
oh, Hasparina Sensei, we will have one more guest talking about this next, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. No, I did not forget. Okay, okay. Well, last question. So we take last question. Okay, from Karen Sang. Where should we refer to if we need to find out about or more about Japanese universities? Not much information in the internet, and there are kind of scattered around. Maybe Fikry-san, you can help.
Mhm.
Yeah, actually, if you go to, for example, in my university, Tokyo University of Science website, the Japanese version might be more detailed. I mean, if you look at the,
I
yeah,
exactly.
one thing is to look at the Japanese version of the homepage, and then one more thing is you can ask any Malaysians or any person you know in Japan to try to find it for you. Because, but still, I think most of them, the detailed information will be more in Japanese. Yeah, but
なるほど。
the, but the English version should be enough information for the international students too, I think. Yeah, but if you need
Okay.
further information, then you have to look at the Japanese one.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you want to add something, Hanan-san?
No,
Oh.
I was just thinking about the Japanese website. I agree with this point, but it's good that the technology is like advanced nowadays. Nowadays, if you click the website, you can actually have the option to Google Translate the website, right, from Japanese to English. So I think even from there you can find the information yourself actually.
Okay. Okay. Um Thank you very much for the questions. Okay, I'm sorry that we can't pick all the questions because of the time constraint. So now allow me to invite our special guest tonight from the Embassy of Japan in Malaysia, Mr. Saito Yukiyoshi, First Secretary at the Embassy of Japan in Malaysia.
Good
Saito-san,
evening.
こんばんは。
こんばんは。Good evening.
こんばんは。
Hasparina先生、Hanan さん、
Sorry.
Fikry さん, and listeners.
Sorry for keeping you waiting.
No, it's okay. I'm very impressed with everyone's presentation and facial expression.
Okay. Okay. Saito-san, okay. First, let me welcome you to the show and thank you very much for coming, okay, despite your busy schedule. Okay. We have Hanan-san here. You already know Hanan-san and Fikry-san with us today. So I'm sure you have listened to our conversations today. So please allow me. Okay, first, Saito-san, would you please tell us a little about yourself?
Okay, selamat petang. Nama saya Saito Yukiyoshi dari Kedutaan Besar Jepun di Malaysia. Saya sedang belajar bahasa Melayu. Saya akan bekerja keras bila jumpa kamu. Actually, I arrived at Malaysia last March, so around 4 months ago, but it didn't take time to come to Malaysia because of the people who respected each other, and I like Malaysian food, Chinese food, Indian food, and I like the atmosphere in Malaysia. So I'm really happy to be here and to promote MEXT scholarship system today. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. People are looking forward to about the MEXT scholarship. Okay. So let us ask you. Okay, how the MEXT scholarship application situation in Malaysia is?
Actually, last year, I'd like to say that 11 promising Malaysian students were selected out of 130 all over the world. So we were selected, Malaysian students. So what I want to say is that everyone has a big chance to get this MEXT scholarship, like Hanan-san.
Okay. So there are big chances. Okay. That's good to know. Okay. Okay. How about okay, because just now we talked about Japanese language abilities. Okay, Saito-san, okay, I would like to know if having Japanese language ability is an advantage when applying the scholarship. So for example, having JLPT certificates, will it be considered?
Yes, of course it is advantage if you can speak Japanese, but I wonder how fluent Hana-san spoke Japanese before coming to Japan. But Japanese skill is not necessarily actually for candidates. So it depends on the courses you will choose. So if you choose social study, of course you need to have a high Japanese skill. But if you choose natural science or other things, good score in Japanese language is not necessary. So please do not hesitate
To apply.
to apply to try application.
Okay. Oh, so it depends on the major as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Another question, Saito-san. Do you have any? Okay. What makes scholarship application rejected?
Well, we check one by one carefully, but some documents are not required or are not according to the instruction. So it's a kind of careless mistake. So I hope when you submit documents, please prepare carefully.
Yes, careless mistake. Okay. That's motai nine. You work so hard, but then you make careless mistake. Okay. Hi. Okay, lastly, Saito-san. Okay, do you have any messages to Hanan-san or Fikry-san or the audiences out there?
Well, actually, Hanan-san and Fikry-san talks talked everything, I think.
Sorry. I'm
just,
sorry.
yes, I just like to focus two things. One is that I'd like listeners to have good intention to study in Japan, as Hanan-san said. And also, you need a solid research plan based on your academic background. This is one thing. The second thing is, I'd like you to consider why Japan? Because, Fikry-san considered going to the UK, right? So
Yeah.
I think so. I would like you to think deeply, why Japan? Why not other countries like US, UK, or China? So especially from the aspect of research. I think these 2 points are very important for application. And, as I mentioned, there is a big chance to apply. Just for your information, for undergraduate, you will have 4,600 Malaysia ringgit per month.
Oh,
4,600. And for research student, around 5,600 Malaysia ringgit. And the tuition is free, as Hanan-san said. So I think it's a very good opportunity for all students who wants to go to Japan. So
yes.
we really appreciate your, application. And I'd like you to be a big bridge between Japan and Malaysia in the future. Thank you.
Yes. And it's enough. You don't have to do a right? Part-time job.
You don't need to. I think I don't think so.
Unnecessary.
Yes. Yes.
Hanan-san
Okay.
did Arubaito just for experience. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
For my
Yes.
own experience.
Yeah, she doesn't need that. Okay, not for money. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Taito-san.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Okay, so because of the time constraint. Okay, before we end our show today, okay, Hanan-san and Fikry-san, may I ask your favorite Japanese word? Okay, the meaning and why do you like the word? Okay, Hanan-san first.
Okay, my favorite Japanese word or actually phrase is ichigo ichie, which literal meaning is one time, one meeting. So it is the concept of treasuring every moment and appreciating any moment or any encounter with a person, because some things or some chances, it might not be replicated, it might not be repeated. So we should appreciate every moment of it.
Okay, that's very beautiful and meaningful Japanese idiom. Okay, thank you for sharing. Okay, how about you, Fikry-san?
Okay, in my case, I like Tsubasa. It's actually Tsubasa is very famous for the Shinkansen name, the bullet train name in Japan. It's quite old version of the Shinkansen, actually not the latest one, but I like the kanji of Tsubasa. If you look at the kanji, if the combination between Hane in Kotonaru is like different wings, right? And Tsubasa means wings actually in Japanese, in English. Because why I love this word is because I'm doing the research related to the aeroplanes, and the materials that I use to research on is the wings area, right? So I love these wings. And then another background of this word is actually very famous for the comic manga. I think it's Captain Tsubasa.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah, and then one more thing is a very famous artist, Japanese artist called Honda Tsubasa. Because Tsubasa now is also using as the first name, I think, in Japan. Yeah. So I think originally Tsubasa is for boys, but then now because of Honda Tsubasa is a girl, she became very famous. And then start from that, more Japanese start to use Tsubasa also for girls for the child's name. Yeah, so I like this Tsubasa because it's related to my research and because of the meaning of the wings where I can fly further in future, inshallah.
Wow, that's very nice. Yes, I like it. Subasa reminds me of the word explore. Explore the
Yeah.
world with your wings. Yes,
Yes.
I think that's what you are doing now, right, Fikry-san?
Yeah.
Okay, Saito-san, how about you? Do you have any favorite Japanese words you like to share with us, or any favorite Malay words maybe?
In Japanese, I like
Yes, Japanese. Okay.
continuity is the father of success. So which means your dream will come true if you make even a little effort day by day.
What's the Japanese word, Saito-san?
継続は力なり。
はい。継続は力なり。継続 is continuous, right? はい。力。Yes, yes. Thank you. Do you have any favorite Malay words?
Makan.
Sudah makan is like konnichiwa.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Minasan. Okay, thank you very much. We are coming to the end of the show. Okay, thank you very much to both Hanan-san and Fikry-san. All the best to both of you, and we look forward to hearing the good news from you in a few months. And thank you, Saito-san. Okay, sorry for just a few minutes. Okay, but thank you for your willingness to join us today and share about the MEXT scholarship. I'm sure many of the audiences would like to know. If you want to know more, Saito-san, what should they do if they want to know more about MEXT scholarship?
Would you please access to the homepage of Embassy of Japan in Malaysia, or you will get more information from the Study in Japan website organized by JASO.
Okay, thank you
That's
very
in
much.
English.
Yes, okay, thank you very much. Okay, so thank you to the technical team today. And last but not least, thank you very much to our audiences today for sharing your valuable 1 hour, means more than 1 hour already. So I'm going to end this now. それでは次回お会いしましょう. Thank you very much and おやすみなさい。
ありがとうございました。
おやすみなさい。はい。